Hey, it's Glory with Disney Adventure Hub, where we take themed adventures together around the Disneyland Resort. Today's theme is Snow White. So let's go see all the things we can with Snow White. One of the first places in the park that you can see Snow White is right here in the right side tunnel on the way into Disneyland. Let's check out the 70th anniversary display inside the Opera House. This display has items on loan from the Walt Disney Family Museum and has a few Snow White things. We're going through the Mad Hatter to get in, but feel free to use the front doors. In the Fantasyland section, you're going to notice several renderings of Snow White, the attraction. And just outside the Opera House Theater, entrance to the Opera House Theater anyway, you'll find a case that has a Snow White statue in it.
It's a pleasure for you to sit down.
The dwarves and the animals. This beautiful statue is actually the Grand Art Trophy from the Venice Film Festival, given to Walt in 1938 to honor Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Here's a better photo from the Walt Disney Family Museum website. The next place that we can find Snow White is in the toy shop here on Main Street, which is in the Emporium, on your left as you walk into the park. I don't know if you've noticed at Disney, but they like to put stuff up. So in this back toy section, if you look up, you just might see a charming little couple that fits our theme perfectly. And they're even playing their song. One of my favorite Snow White areas and part of this adventure is actually here by Sleeping Beauty Castle. If you walk off to the right, there is a little pathway. Maybe you've been on it, maybe you haven't. It's not the main way through the castle. And on the pathway, you're going to find some familiar friends. It's a beautiful little path that generally doesn't have a lot of people. And this whole area is Snow White. On the left, you have the wishing well. Let's take a look in there. You will notice some writing on here. It says, "Your wishes will help children everywhere." And that is on there because people throw money in there. So my guess is they eventually collect the money and donate it to something involved with children. We've got some of Snow White's friends. And then back here, look at this beautiful waterfall. Now, for a summer, I worked at Disney World in the college program. And for whatever reason, they taught us a way to remember the names of the dwarves. 2 S's, 2 D's, and then 3 emotions. So we have Sleepy, Sneezy, Dopey, Doc, Happy, Grumpy, and Bashful. I'm going to see if I can figure out who is who by looking at these. So we have Sleepy. I'm going to go with him. Sleepy. Yeah, look at the bags under his eyes. Sneezy.
I'm gonna go with that being Sneezy. Look at his beards all blowing in the wind. Dopey, dopey, dopey. Let's see. I think that's Dopey. Doc has glasses, so I believe he is up here. There he is. Doc. Happy. Okay, he likes Happy over here. Happy. Grumpy. We know what Grumpy looks like. There he is. Looks like he's standing in the entrance to the wine. Oops. Grumpy. And Bashful. I think he is over here. He looks pretty bashful to me. And then there's some little fish friends. Now, as I recall, they were not working the last time I saw them. But now they're going around and they're spitting water. It looks like the frogs used to also spit water. They've got little spouts. But those do not appear to be doing that anymore. And then all the way at the top, we've got Miss Snow White with her bird and deer friends.
Snow White's grotto was created in 1961 to house the 8 marble character statues that Walt had mysteriously received in crates from Italy. Unfortunately, Snow White was created the same size as the dwarfs, so Disney used their tried and true method of forced perspective to make her look larger by putting her at the top. The animal statues were created later to help the perspective. And if you wait till you hear the bell chime, you'll also hear the original voice of Snow White, Adriana Caselotti, sing I'm Wishing, which was added in the 1983 Fantasyland refurbishment.
There are perfect places to sit, enjoy some quiet, listen to the Snow White waterfall, have some shade, and just take a break. That's a delightful spot. And if you sit on this one, you get to look at Snow White, the wishing well, and the figurines. The fish are going.
Do you ever get delighted by the little things?
The fountain is beautiful. Now let's go check out the attraction. I love this little pathway through the castle from Snow White's wishing well. It was first thing in the morning upon opening, and it's a little crazy. Hopefully this is all for Peter Pan, though. Ooh-wee. Now, before we get on the attraction, let's take a look at the outside of the building. When they redid this attraction from Snow White's Scary Adventure, the ride generally stayed the same as far as the mechanics and most of the insides, but they rethemed a lot of the outside and the inside to look less scary and happier. And so now it is called Snow White's Enchanted Wish. But this was an original park opening attraction back in 1955. And this movie is actually what made Disneyland possible, because it was the first feature-length animation, and it was a smashing hit. Walt Disney did things with animation that people had never done before and made it a feature-length film. As expected, there are millions of details everywhere, and you'll find Snow White's little animal friends. There's the bunnies, there's some chipmunks, and even the pie crust from Snow White's pies. Has a very big decorative feature here at the ride. Now, you may or may not know that there is a special guest, if you will, peering through one of the windows. Oh, we just missed her. She'll make herself known again.
I'm waiting.
Aha.
Someone did a
Evil
really good
Queen.
job driving.
Even the entrance was redone to be more welcoming and less scary. And you'll notice that down we've got what was supposed to be Snow White's heart. But instead, luckily for us, it was not. Even a little bird on the bottom of that lantern. Let's go ahead and go through the queue, and I'll show you all the beautiful details as we go. They even changed the color of the bricks for the new attraction, make it less foreboding. This used to be the Evil Queen's dungeon. There was a skeleton hanging on the wall and other creepy things, including her cauldron and her potion book, which we will now see in the attraction. Now it's more Snow White's space. And I even added a window, which does not go to the outside. It is just a faux window, but it does change the space quite a bit. Gotta have her mop bucket.
This actually got me wondering, like historical Disney versus modern Disney, or how much like what I grew up.
Now you notice the cars are all named after the dwarves. Bashful, you'll see lots of fun friends on the outside now. Butterflies are all new. We changed the trees a little bit and added some woodland friends. Dwarf's tools are in different locations. And they added a fun shadow effect. I'll point out a few of the differences inside the ride. This part is generally about the same, but they added Dancing Snow White, who you see outside. And she used to be on these stairs here. Well, during the renovation of the 80s. She didn't used to be here at all at the beginning.
No.
Heigh ho, heigh ho, if on mighty go.
I added the mine gems. Love this room. And there's the potion book that used to be at the beginning.
Have that okay?
They added all of these projections too, which are really fun. If you can't tell, that's where the Evil Queen dies. It used to be much more prominent in the original version. That was Snow White's Enchanted Wish, formerly Snow White's Scary Adventures. Let's see what else we can find that's Snow White themed. Well, we're at the Magic Band location inside Fantasyland by Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and I see Snow White. Oh no. I think that's supposed to open, but there's something amiss. But we did find Snow White. We're back to see if the 70th anniversary Snow White interaction is working today. Let's try it and find out. Nope. Still broken. Too bad. All right, let's see if they happen to fix it. Take 3. Nope. Still broken. The Plaza Inn has a poison apple cake right now. Look at how cute that is. Can you see? It's really hard with the backlight. If I move it this way a little bit more. Is that any better? And apparently it is cinnamon flavored. All right, let's give this beauty a try. Interesting. It does have a light cinnamon flavor. It's not overpowering, which is great. I'm not crazy about how much red dye number 40 I'm going to be ingesting. But hey, I don't do it very often, so this is good. And it's kind of like a traditional kind of a cake buttercream frosting, I guess. Very nice, very nice. An excellent Halloween treat that's just out for the season to go with our Snow White adventure. So as you can tell, it is definitely getting busier here at Fantasy Fair as the princesses are now queued up. It's about 10:40, I believe. Royal Hall opens about 10. And pretty shortly, there's going to be some princesses out in the courtyard. I have reason to believe I should stick around. So I am here sitting in the end of the outdoor queue.
And shortly after, she did come out and gained a quick following of young ladies. After a few moments waiting in line, after she greeted her cute guests and adorable babies, it was finally my turn, and we got to say hello.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. How do
Good, good. My name is Gloria. Is it okay if I video you?
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
great.
Magic mirror there.
I know, amazing. So I'm doing themed adventures, and you are my theme today.
Oh, I do see you have our match.
I know, right? Here, I'll turn it around. So I have done the wishing well.
Oh,
Yes.
It is a wonderful place to
It
say hello.
is. Oh, it is. And I love the waterfall too. And I've done your attraction. And I've had some poison apple cake.
And you're still feeling wide awake.
I'm doing okay.
I'm
Yes,
glad
the
to hear
poison
it.
wasn't very strong in that one.
That's
Can you
good.
think of anything else that I can do?
I do think the wishing well is my very favorite. It's where I met my prince for the very first time.
Yes.
Yes, let's see. As long as you've caught the 7 dwarves up in their waterfall
Oh,
too.
yes, yes. Uh-huh.
I suppose there are some more apple treats around.
Oh,
if
true.
you'd like to try the apple boysenberry drink right over
Oh,
there.
very
it's rather
good, yes.
lovely.
I think I
Refreshing on a
will.
warm day too.
For sure.
Oh, it's lovely with the sunshine as well.
Oh, and it is going to be warm today.
Oh, it's true.
Yes.
I hope you'll be able to stay nice and cool. Perhaps you can ask our friend Elsa to make a visit.
Good idea. Okay, do you mind if we say hello in there
course.
together? Hi. Thank you for talking with me.
Of course, my friend. Have so much fun on your adventures today.
Thank you. Yes, have a lovely day. Goodbye.
You too.
Well, that was fun to see Snow White. And Snow White herself did suggest the Boysen apple freeze. Now, there was something I was going to get in Disney California Adventure called it was a poison apple shake. Literally called poison apple, not Boysen apple. But I realized Boysen sounds a lot like poison, so I do think it actually is Snow White themed. So I'm going to give this a try instead of the shake, because the shake is a matcha flavor. I've tried to make myself like matcha. I wouldn't want to be disappointed by something in Disney. So I'm going to go with the Boysen apple freeze, which I've heard good things about. Oh, here we are. This is Maurice's treats. And I do have the Boysen apple freeze. Now I do have it on good authority that the whipped cream balances out the sweetness of the boysenberry, or vice versa. She asked me if I wanted whipped cream, so just know you can get this without whipped cream, if that sounds good to you.
You heard it right. The Enchanted Tiki Room attraction in Adventureland uses the Snow White song Heigh Ho, with repurposed lyrics, as exit music. And if you don't feel like sitting through the whole show to check it out, you can catch a snippet outside the exit doors as people march out on their way to a boat.
This time of year, there literally is poison apple merchandise everywhere and display here in the Penny Arcade, where they've got all the tasty goodies. Poison apple. Outside the Crystal Arcade on Main Street, they've got a window display for this Snow White live action movie that came out this year in 2025. If you happen to be in downtown Disney, you can stop at Parkside Market at Sip and Sonder, which is their coffee and tea house, and get a poison apple spiced toffee crunch cider. So apparently they do cider as well, at least for Halloween.
After the poison apple drink at Parkside Market, I stumbled across the real poison apple at Disney's Wonderful World of Sweets. This shop was once Marceline's Confectionery and has since been reimagined, reopening with a name that nods to Disney's long-running television tradition, The Wonderful World of Disney.
So I'm here in the DVC tower of the Disneyland Hotel, and they have this amazing mural. And look who I found. Hey, Snow. We're in the Fantasia shop in the Disneyland Hotel, and they've got Snow White's Evil Queen in both of her forms. Look what they did with that bright pink, the light. That's amazing.
Our next stop is Disney California Adventure, and there are actually quite a few Snow White themed things here to see. Our first stop is going to be Schmoozies for a shake.
All right, we're trying the poison apple, maybe it's called the Evil Queen. I think it's the Evil Queen apple shake. It has matcha and some sort of fruit syrup and a lot of whipped cream. So cheers to you, Snow White. It is dripping all over my hand. So, oh, so much dripping. You know what? Not bad. I was a little concerned about the matcha because I have given matcha a very good effort. Good old college try and was not entranced. But this has enough sweetness in it. Okay.
Across from Schmoozies is the Animation Building, and our Snow White trail leads us to a couple really good Snow White moments here. The first one is in the lobby itself, as one of the movies they highlight is Snow White. They have lots of screens around the space with different images and sometimes even lighting effects. And then across the lobby, you'll find the magic mirror plays a big role in the Sorcerer's Workshop. Let's go check out the Magic Mirror Realm and see what other Snow White details we can find in the Sorcerer's Workshop.
Behold the realm in which you stopped, a world of motion locked in mine. Yet in your hands you hold the key to break the spell and set it free.
Adjoining the animation building is the shop off the page, and in their window displays, you'll find a costume design drawing for Snow White's cleaning outfit, another magic mirror, which will reflect you, and in the window next to it, you'll find a collage of Snow White, the Evil Queen, and the Wicked Witch, the Seven Dwarves, and even the Huntsman. There's another window display to check out during Halloween time for their poison apple decor. Atwater Ink and Paint on Buena Vista Boulevard. Friends, I'm afraid I have failed you with one of the most important Snow White themed destinations in the entire Disneyland Resort, and that's Carthay Circle Restaurant. So enjoy the random photos to come from DCA as I explain. Back in 1937, Walt Disney was able to talk one movie theater into showing the premiere of his first, and anyone's first, feature-length animation film called Snow White. It was referred to as Walt's Folly by skeptics, owing to the fact that animations had only ever just been shorts that preceded feature-length movies until that time, just like the Mickey Mouse cartoons were, and never actually made full length themselves. The Carthay Circle Theater in LA had previously shown some of Walt's cartoons to huge acclaim and decided to give his full length Snow White movie a shot. It was a star studded event and a surprise huge success. And upon its public release the following year, Snow White became the highest grossing film of 1938, earning far more than any other traditional movie that year, an astounding $8 million. Thanks to decades of theatrical re-releases, Snow White remained the highest grossing animated film of all time until Aladdin surpassed Snow White's lifetime box office total during its original theatrical run in 1993, over 50 years later. Inside the Carthay Circle Restaurant in DCA, you'll find photos and memorabilia from the movie premiere event in 1937, images inlaid in some of the tables, a masterful mural of the Snow White forest on the ceiling of the main dining room, and a private dining room where the table base is modeled after Snow White's wishing well. At least you used to. You'll have to check it out for yourself and let me know in the comments what you find there now. And here's the one photo I have of myself in the Carthay Circle Restaurant, over 10 years ago, trying the Disney brand tea for the first time, something I have made part of my daily life at home ever since then. The next place you can find Snow White characters, physically or as animations or projections, is during events and entertainment. The Evil Queen is very popular during Halloween time, so look for her in a couple of places in DCA if you get tickets to the Oogie Boogie Bash. She's in the Frightfully Fun Parade.
Oh, darling, who tricks you into wearing that? Wicked wishes all come true.
And the Wicked Queen's Lightning Forest in Villain's Grove.
To all come to this happy place, welcome.
Also in DCA, find Snow White, the Magic Mirror, and the Wicked Queen in the current 70th anniversary showing of World of Color, called World of Color Happiness. And back in Disneyland Park, Fantasmic has and these guys again.
Great fame may be yours, young sorcerer, but hold, another realm I see, where powers untold, far greater than yours, may awaken. But beware, only the bravest may uncover the mystery. Dost thou have the courage?
I don't know about this.
Dare you look deeper?
Well, sure.
Then
Oh!
Into a nightmare Fantasmic. Imagine this. Magic mirror on the wall. All the forces of evil I call.
you have the power
To control his mind.
Back to the heroes. And if you miss the characters in any of these events, be sure to look for them in other parades or cavalcades around the resort. I made a little merch montage of all the Snow White and Evil Queen merchandise I ran across throughout the Disneyland Resort. Seriously, something for everyone. Take a look. Well, thanks for joining me on this Snow White adventure here at Disneyland Park. If you had fun, please hit the like button, and if you're interested in more themed adventures, please subscribe and we'll go on them together.